Broadcasting live from the Meridics via OBS Studio Broadcast Center at Fordyce Center in Bellevue. This is GNASH Hockey on the Middle Tennessee Sports Network, and we have made it to the biggest night of the season, the Predators Cup Final. Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon, and Ravenwood, a rematch of last year's championship bout, but this time it's Mount Juliet who have to beat Ravenwood tonight to force the if necessary game on Monday. And tonight it's Mount Juliet who have to beat Ravenwood to force the if necessary game on Monday, but Ravenwood will be favorites because they have beaten Mount Juliet all three times that the two teams have played each other this season, both regular season meetings and the one playoff meeting, the winners bracket final, last Monday night. So Mount Juliet will be trying to beat Ravenwood for the first time this season to give themselves another crack at the Predators Cup on Monday. Zamboni is out on the ice. And we are a few minutes away from game time, and let's start as we normally do by going over the scores from last week. We had 6 games last week in the postseason. Last Monday, February 13th, it was Brentwood beating Father Ryan 4-3 in overtime in the Predators Cup Losers Bracket semifinal. Summit Page beat the Tennessee Outlaws also 4-3 in overtime in the Hine Cup Losers Bracket final. In the Hine Cup Winners Bracket final, it was Centennial beating USNBA Nashville Christian 4-2. And in the Preds Cup Winners Bracket final, it was Ravenwood beating Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon 4-1. Then last Wednesday, it was Losers Bracket final night. USNBA Nashville Christian beat Summit Page 4-3. Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon beat Brentwood 2-0. So 2 games going on tonight. Of course, we got the Hine Cup final between USNBA Nashville Christian and Centennial going on. They should be getting close to the end of the second period. I don't have any score updates so far. But coming up here in a few minutes on the Terry Crisp rink, a.k.a. Rink 1 here in Bellevue, it is Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon taking on Ravenwood in the Preds Cup final. Of course, Ravenwood, even though they are the 2 seed, they're the home team for tonight's game because they came out of the winners bracket. Excuse me, I was talking to a Ford employee, a Fordyce Center employee. But yeah, Mount Juliet looking to beat Ravenwood for the first time this season. But again, Ravenwood are the home team tonight, even though they're the 2 seed because they came out of the winners bracket. If Mount Juliet win tonight and force Monday's if necessary game, then bench assignments will revert back to seeding. Ravenwood would sit on the away bench. Mount Juliet would sit on the home bench as the Zamboni is almost done going over the ice. Got a little strip down the middle to get, but then it's almost done. So let's talk about the 2 teams playing tonight's game. First up, Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon, coached by Ray Balls. Opened up the postseason January 30th with a 6-2 win over Rutherford Rampage. Then in the winners bracket semifinals on February 6th, they beat Pope 2-0. And last Monday, February 13th, in the winners bracket final, they lost 4-1 to Ravenwood. And then last Wednesday in the losers bracket final, they beat Brentwood 2-0. So here are the stats for Mount Juliet coming into tonight's game. Braylon Cox is the leading scorer. He has 7 points from 4 goals and 3 assists. 2 of those, of course, were the 2 against Brentwood last week. Jordan Antar has 5 points from 4 goals and an assist. Kyle Alsaker has 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Ryan Woods has 2 points from a goal and an assist. Wes Ray has a point from a goal. Carson Slogan and Blake Bristow each have a point from an assist. But, of course, Blake Bristow is serving the second of a 6-game suspension tonight. His GNASH career pretty much over. Well, it is over because Mount Juliet, well, even if Mount Juliet foresee if necessary game, that's the last game of the season they're going to play on Monday. So there's no way for there's no way for there's no way for him to serve that entire suspension. And also he's a graduating senior, so he's going to have some games left over, which will turn into a fine. So it's 3-0. Oh, well, it's Centennial, but 3-0 who? That's what I want to know. On to Ravenwood, the defending Preds Cup champs, looking for
Who won that first game?
I don't know what's going on right now. It's out at Centennial. It's 3-0. It's 3-0 somebody, but I don't know who.
We thought we saw the Zamboni.
Both teams hitting the ice. Ravenwood looking for a record-breaking 7th Predators Cup tonight. They'd be the first team to win it a 7th time. Started off the postseason with an 8-1 win over Father Ryan on January 30th. Then a 7-1 win over MBA in the winners bracket semifinal on February 6th. And then the 4-1 win over Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon a week ago Monday. So let's look at the stats for Ravenwood, the playoff stats coming into tonight. Liam Powell, the leading scorer, with 7 points from 2 goals and 5 assists. Zach Egli, 6 points from 5 goals and an assist. Owen Gilroy, 5 points all from goals. Luke Powell, 5 points from 2 goals and 3 assists. Gavin Hussey, 3 points from a goal and 2 assists. Jake Farrell, 2 points from goals. Sutton Kornblum and Luke Schenkel each with 2 points from a goal and an assist. Jake Lipinski, Owen Appel, and Jack Reddy each have a point from a goal. Ryan Farrell has played all 3 games in goal for Ravenwood. His record is 3-0. He's played 126 minutes. Goals against average of 1. No shutouts. He's allowed 3 goals and 69 shots. Turned away the other 66. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .960. Did I go over I got interrupted. I don't think I went over Robbie Simonic's stats. Here are Robbie Simonic's stats. Robbie Simonic has played all 4 games in goal for Mount Juliet this postseason. His record 3-1. He's played 168 minutes. Goals against average of 1.5. 2 shutouts. He's allowed 6 goals on 137 shots, turned away the other 131. His save percentage in the postseason so far is .960. So both teams out on the ice warming up. It is a 4 official game, 2 refs, 2 linesmen. And like I said, this is the 4th meeting between the 2 teams this season. Ravenwood have won the previous 3. They won the 2 regular season meetings by the exact same score, 4-2. First meeting on November 7th, the second on December 7th. And then, of course, the playoff meeting 2 weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, I should say, 4-1. Of course, last year it was Mount Juliet who got in via the winners bracket. Ravenwood won the first game 4-0 and then won the IF 4-1. Cooper Hill scored, I think it was 39 seconds into the game, the if necessary game. So that was Ravenwood off and running. Mount Juliet managed to hold Ravenwood goalless through that first period last week, but see if they can do it again tonight. Warm-up clock is run down to 0, although they were testing the sound system and playing the national anthem, so I guess we're going to have some pregame stuff before we get going tonight. Yep, they're turning the lights down, or starting to turn the lights down. There will be an ice cut following the second period, so we will have an intermission. So you expect the goaltending matchup between Simonik and Ryan Farrell. As both teams head back, well, Mount Juliet heading back to the bench, and it's Kevin Hagan, the league vice president, on the PA system. Ravenwood wearing the white tonight as they get a big cheer. So they are introducing the starting lineups. Easton Krensky going to start on D for Mount Juliet. And Carson Slocum. Easton Krensky, of course, originally decided to forego his senior year to play baseball because he's one of the top baseball players, outfielders in the state. Came back in time for the second part of the regular season, had to serve a 2-game suspension from actions from last year's if necessary game. Kyle Alsaker, Braylon Cox, and Jordan Antar starting up front. Robbie Simonik being introduced as the goaltender. And now the Ravenwood starting lineup. Owen Appel, one of the defensive starters, or starting defenseman. And Luke Powell. Powell, one of the 9 Ravenwood seniors, hoping to go out a winner tonight. Owen Gilroy will be starting up front, along with Jake Farrell and Jack Reddy. And just Ryan Farrell to introduce. Ryan Farrell being introduced, and he's actually going to come up. He came halfway up the slot. Here's the national anthem. Well, they're playing an appropriate song right before puck drop, Motorhead's The Game, which was, of course, used as entrance music by Triple H. Yeah, it's all about the game and if you can play it. Ravenwood players having one last huddle with Ryan Farrell. So here we go with the first period. Ryan Farrell in goal for Ravenwood. Robbie Simonik in goal for Mount Juliet. For this first period, Ravenwood will carry the puck from my left to right, Mount Juliet from my right to left, and the game is underway with Mount Juliet winning the opening draw. Easton Krinsky dumps it into the Ravenwood zone down the near side, picked up from behind the net by Owen Appel. And Ravenwood carry it out. Puck is in the Mount Juliet zone behind the net. Pops up in the air. And it's carried out Kyle Allsaker. Allsaker, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Took a bump from Owen Gilroy. Puck ends up, Gilroy's stick was broken as Allsaker gave it a little slash. And Ravenwood end up icing the puck, and that takes the first 36 seconds off the clock. So Ravenwood right away, knowing how to deal with a big Allsaker, put a body on him, and that's what Owen Gilroy did. Draw is to the right of Farrell. Puck out on the far boards and cleared out by Luke Schenkel. Tyler Dubois will dump it back into the Ravenwood zone. Puck stopped behind the net by Ryan Farrell. Schenkel passing it to his left. He gives it away, and then Giampaolo's shot hits some shins. Puck comes up to the right point. Ryan Wood sending it back down the wall. Schenkel with it now, sends it over to the near side, Sutton Kornblum. He passes up the near boards. Here's Liam Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, trying to pass across try to center it for Zach Egli. That was broken up by Ryan Woods. Puck out at center. Powell gets it back, hands it to Kornblum, sends it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Woods with it, passes to the far side, Giampaolo. Backhands it down the far side into the Ravenwood end. Here's Kornblum. Stretch pass up the near side of the Mount Juliet blue line. Liam Powell carries it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Gets knocked off the puck by Krinsky. Shot from Zach Egli. Went over the net. Still in play. I guess they're saying Simonik got a piece of it because they put that shot up on the board. Owen Gilroy keeping the puck inside the Mount Juliet zone on the far side. Now it's behind the net. Here's Owen Appel's shot. Went off a stick and over the net. Appel shooting from just above the high slot. Luke Powell sending it down the wall from the left point. Puck coming around to the right wing corner. And the puck is cleared by Braylon Cox. It trickles back into the Ravenwood zone. Raptors have it. They clear, but they give it right to Allsaker, who brings it back in onside. Jordan Antar just clearing the zone. Here's Gilroy. Inside the Mount Juliet end, turning it over, Carson Slocum. Clears it out. Puck's in the Ravenwood zone, coming towards the net. Ryan Farrell has to steer it away. Luke Powell now crossing the red line, brings it into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing, loses the puck to Tyler Dubois, who clears. Luke Schenkel tried to pass it ahead, but it hit Giampaolo. It's back in the Ravenwood zone. Schenkel clearing it out. Luke Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, a slap shot blockered away by Simonik. Puck out in front, Giampaolo ahead to Ryan Woods, who carries to center. Woods into the Ravenwood zone, and the puck poked away. He gets it back, but could not get through the double team of Schenkel and Jake Lipinski. Puck on the near boards. Now Wes Ray trying to carry it out to the slot. Puck poked away by Lucas Brady. Here's Giampaolo losing it. Then Brady gives it back. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. It's going to be, nope, icing waved off. Icing waved off. Here is Sutton Kornblum stepping to center on the far side. Sends it into the Mount Juliet zone deep. Puck now coming around to the near side. Liam Powell. Puck in the right wing corner. And it's carried out by Jordan Antar. Sent into the Ravenwood zone. To the left wing corner. Picked up by Gavin Hussey. Hussey banks it off the far wall. Held in. Put in front, a shot! Stopped and held on to by Ryan Farrell. Braylon Cox kept it in. Sent it in front to Jordan Antar, who was all alone. Ryan Farrell closed the 5-hole on him. 9:30 to go in the first. It is still zip-zip. Draw to the left of Farrell, won by Mount Juliet, and a shot went off a Ravenwood stick, came on goal, and Farrell stops and covers. Well, folks, unless something changes, looks like we're going to have a Hein Cup if necessary game on Monday. USNBA Nashville Christian leading Centennial 3-0 at the end of 2. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone, picked up by Krensky. He'll carry it out. Allsaker. Now the puck sent into the Ravenwood zone. Sent back into the Ravenwood zone by Krensky. Owen Appel with it. On the near side. Here's Liam Powell now. Right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Puck comes out in front. Oh, and Gavin Hussey couldn't get a stick on it. Held into the slot, and a shot from Zach Egli went off a stick into the netting above the glass. $8:51 to go in the first, and we're still looking for the first goal of the game. Shots on goal are even at 2 apiece. Draw's going to be to the left of Simonik. Mount Juliet trying to get it out on the near side. Got it to center, but Owen Gilroy gets it back. Gilroy brings it back into the Mount Juliet zone, sends it deep. It comes off the wall to the near side of the net, and Robbie Simonik decides to cover. Draw is to the left of Simonik. Mount Juliet with it. Ryan Woods carries to center. Makes his way into the Ravenwood zone on the left wing side. Well defended. Back into the puck out in front, but Westway ripped on it. He passes up towards the high slot. Tyler Dubois trying to send it to the front of the net. That's stolen and carried out by Luke Schenkel. Schenkel with a slap shot that hit the ankle, left ankle of Parker Triplett. Puck in the Mount Juliet zone, put in front for Farrell, but he couldn't get a stick on it. Mount Juliet with it on the far side. Here's Tyler Dubois. He's going to ice it. 7:53 to go in the first, and still no goals on the board in this one. Draw is to the left of Simonik. Puck out in the left wing corner. Liam Powell comes out to the left circle. Takes a shot. It hit the right ankle of Braylon Cox. Powell decides to fire it off the far boards back down deep. It's behind the net. Oh, it almost came out in front. Gavin Hussey backhands it in front. Liam Powell with a shot. Stopped by Simonik brilliantly. It was a behind the back pass out in front to Powell. And Simonik with a tremendous save. Now here goes Krensky through center, leading a 3-on-2, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Could not get around Owen Appel, who brought him down, and Appel's going to go to the box. They're going to call him for holding. Mount Juliet will get the first power play of the game. No goals on the board, 7:15 to go in the first. Draw is going to be to the left of Ryan Farrell. One by Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky, right point. Almost gave it away. Sends it to the slot. Jack Reddy had it, but Goes over to the far boards. Jordan Antar sends it around the wall to the near side. Now Ravenwood get it out. Jack Reddy at center. Ready. Into the Mount Juliet zone. Right wing side. A shot. It'll be fought off by the blocker of Simonik. It actually went off his blocker and just over the top of the net. That could have gone in behind him. Here's Allsecker now. Left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Trying to drop it back. Antar now in the left circle. Cox going around the back of the net. Trying to put it in front. Antar with the backhander. Stopped by Farrell with a right leg pad. Puck cleared. All the way back into the Mount Juliet zone, picked up by Krensky. Now Cox. Cox brings it back into the Ravenwood zone. Cox down the slot, went to the net. Puck got away from him. Farrell jabbed it away. Liam Powell at center. Into the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to send it to the front of the net. Simonik going to jab it away. Egli was there waiting for the pass. Under a minute left in the power play for Mount Juliet. Waylon Cox on the far side. Ahead to Allsecker at center. Allsecker back into the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Gets taken off the puck, but then Luke Powell backhands it up into the rafters to bring about the whistle. 34 seconds left of the power play. 5:48 to go in the first. We're still looking for the first goal of the game. Draw will be to the left of Farrell. Draw one by Ravenwood, cleared down ice by Luke Schenkel. Under 30 seconds left of the power play now for Mount Juliet. Slocum. Behind his own net, passes up the far side. Anthony Giampaolo at center. Brings it back into the Ravenwood zone right wing side. Drops it up top. Parker Triplett. His shot went off a stick. Knocked down in front by Sutton Cornwall. He flips it ahead towards Liam Powell, but that's swatted away by Carson Slocum. Triplett with the puck. Penalty time against Ravenwood is up. They're back at even strength. Wes Ray, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone, took a push as he was trying to shoot and went down. Puck on the near boards and cleared by Ravenwood. This will be an icing. 5:04 to go in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draws to Farrell's right. Big tie up for the puck off the draw. Ravenwood come up with it. Zeke Landcamer carries it around the back of his own net. It's out on the far side. Now it's at center. Jake Lipinski backhanding it ahead. Sent back the other way by Carson Slocum for an icing against Mount Juliet. .445 left in the first, still zip. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonik. It's won by Mount Juliet, Easton Krensky. Fires it up the far wall off the stick of Kyle Allsecker into the Ravenwood zone. Luke Powell with it. Carries it around the back of his own net. He's out on the near side trying to get it ahead so Ravenwood could get it out. Jack Reddy passing it up the near side. It's in the Mount Juliet zone. Krensky with it. Krensky holding. Stretch pass up the near side. Antar at center. Backhands it into the Ravenwood zone. It's going towards the inboards. Luke Powell will track it down. Tried to clear it out, held into the left point by Krensky, sent towards the front of the net. Actually would have gone wide, and it's cleared out by Luke Powell. Sent back into the Ravenwood zone by Krensky. Ravenwood making a couple of changes. Stretch pass to Gavin Hussey, missed his stick, but Ryan Woods with it. He clears the zone. Owen Gilroy sends it back in. Hussey had to get back on side. Puck out on the far boards. Allsecker. Left wing corner. Cox trying to send it around to the near side. Here's Tyler Dubois. Ryan Woods. Stretch pass to Braylon Cox. Oh, tipped by Luke Powell, who was right behind him. He tipped that pass past Cox deep into the Ravenwood zone. Great back checking by Luke Powell. Here's Owen Appel. Ahead to Gavin Hussey. Had it poked away by Triplett. Here's Wes Ray now, left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Puck ends up at the inboards. Owen Appel gets to it. Now here's Liam Powell at center. 2-on-1 in the Mount Juliet zone. Right wing side of the Mount Juliet end. Taking a shot. Stopped and held on to by Simonik. He had Gavin Hussey across the way. 2:55 to go in the first. Still looking for the first goal of this one. Draws to the left of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. A shot from Egli had to be steered away. Puck behind the net. Put out in front. Hussey shot. Oh, what a save! Simonik robbed him with a glove. Simonik stretched out the legs. Went down. Hussey didn't lift. He lifted it right into his glove. Draws to Simonik's left again. Liam Powell trying to put it in front, then hit the legs of Woods, went behind the net. Slocum trying to clear it, bounces through the legs, feet of Schenkel at the left point. Kornblum passing up the near side, Egli. Now here's Liam Powell. Hussey, Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone up against the boards. Puck now over on the far side for Egli. Now Hussey gets to it. Left circle shot. Stopped by Simonik. A rebound try. Stopped by Simonik, and he's sitting on it. Egli and Hussey were in there. But Simonik comes up big again. 2 minutes to go in the first. We're still looking for the first goal of the game. But Ravenwood now have a 10 shots to 3 lead over Mount Juliet. That's not the stat that counts, but it obviously means that the Raptors are getting more chances. And Simonik must have had the puck somewhere. He had to dig for it because they're just now getting the puck. Draw's going to be to his right. Simonik now having to put his mask and stuff back. Actually, no, one of the referees is adjusting the straps on the back of the mask. Well, Simonik's mask is now fixed. Simonik, a Mount Juliet senior, hoping tonight isn't his last game. We're finally ready to resume. Draws to his right. Won by Mount Juliet. Slocum sending it to the near side. Krensky going to send it into the Ravenwood zone. It hit something. That killed off any icing as it slowly went down the ice. Stretch pass up the far side off the stick of Jake Farrell in the Mount Juliet zone. He picks it up. Now Owen Gilroy, dropped it off in the slot, but too far behind it was Jack Reddy. Puck now on the right wing corner. Still battling for it. It comes out to the slot. Carson Slocum ahead to, not sure who that is. Oh, and his pass across. Oh, it looked like it stayed in the zone. It was Allsaker trying to pass ahead. It hit something and stayed inside the zone. I guess it just went over the blue line and came back in. They call offside against Ravenwood. 77 seconds left in the first. Still no goals on the board. Draw's going to be on the dot in front of the bleachers across from the Mount Juliet bench. Won by the Bears. Here's Krensky. Banking it off the far boards. Now Allsaker gives it off to Cox. Braylon Cox, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone, chips it to the inboards past the net. Ravenwood Wood on the far side, they clear. Out at center, Slocum. Backhands it to Krensky inside the Mount Juliet zone. Krensky able to get it out. We're inside the final minute of the first now. Luke Powell. Powell up. Had Allsaker making him go to the far boards. Allsaker actually dropped his stick. Puck back in the Mount Juliet and Krensky with it. Clears it out. Antar tried to leave it for Cox, who had to take it away from Lipinski. Under 30 seconds left of the first as Cox gets knocked down inside the left circle of the Ravenwood zone. Here's Zach Egli now, right wing side of the Mount Juliet end. And Egli got hit. And I think he's drawn a penalty. Yes, he has. Puck touched up in the left wing corner. And it is a tripping call against Mount Juliet. And it's going to be Krensky going to the box. So Ravenwood getting their first power play of the game. 4.6 seconds to go in the first period. No goals on the board. Draw's going to be to Robbie Simonic's right. And it comes to him off the draw. He catches it. Hangs on for the whistle. Just 0.7 of a second left on the clock. Draw's going to be to his right again. And they dropped the puck, and that's it for the first. Well, no goals. It's like the winner's bracket final. No goals in the first there, no goals in the first here. Robbie Simonic with a tremendous save on Gavin Hussey. Ravenwood and Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon tied at 1 at the end of 1 in the Predators Cup final. Ravenwood will have 1 minute 56 seconds of power play time carrying over to the second period. Rosters for next week's All-Star game were announced yesterday. We'll talk a little bit more about that during the break between the second and third because we're going to have an ice cut after the second. The initial rosters, I should say, there will be some alternates who get in the game. You're supposed to confirm your participation by Friday. GNASH will be on hand, the Predators mascot, taking pictures with fans and players from 7:15 till just past 8 o'clock puck drop. Ready to go for the second period. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood. Robbie Simonic still in goal for Mount Juliet. This second period, Mount Juliet will carry the puck from my left to right. Ravenwood from my right to left as Ravenwood win the draw. And Luke Schenkel with a slap shot from the red line that Robbie Simonic sticks into the netting above the glass. Shots on goal favoring the Raptors 10-3. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonic. It's won by Mount Juliet. Tyler Dubois clears. Luke Powell picks it up. And emerges from behind his own net. Passes to his left and Schenkel. Schenkel past the red line. Oh, left the puck behind him for a moment. Zach Egli with it. Egli carries it into the Mount Juliet zone. Gives it away to Braylon Cox, who clears. Picked up by Powell. Right at the Ravenwood blue line. Liam Powell. Ahead to Gavin Hussey. Hussey back in the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Stops. Passes to the left point. Schenkel moves down the left wing a bit. A shot gloved and held onto by Simonic. 70 seconds left of the power play. 13-14 to go in the second. Still no goals on the board in this one. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonic. Draw one by Ravenwood. Kept inside the zone by Schenkel. Luke Powell, left point. Shot it into the slot. It went off a stick and way up into the rafters. I think it may have gone off a Mount Juliet stick. They're going to drop the puck to the right of Simonic again. And the two referees and one of the linesmen are talking now. The other linesman comes over. I think they were talking about whether this face-off should be in the zone or outside, and they eventually conclude that, yeah, it is in the correct position to the right of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Minute left of their power play. Luke Powell, left point. Passing to the left wing boards, and Liam Powell put in front. Gavin Hussey shanked it. Luke Schenkel now on the far side. Tried to pass back across to Powell. Liam Powell, it went off a stick, hit the boards and went out. Luke Powell with it at center. Ahead to Schenkel. Back inside the Mount Juliet zone. Drops it back Hussey, who's carrying it down the left wing. Put it in front. Zach Egli, a shot blocked. Clearing attempt held into the blue line by Powell. Luke Powell, I should say. Tried to send it towards the front of the net. It's intercepted by Ryan Woods. He tried to clear. Powell knocked it down. Liam Powell with it. Across the right circle. Shot, score! Gavin Hussey! There's the breakthrough! Power play goal for the Raptors. And they take a 1-0 lead with 12:26 to go in the second. His big brother Liam was one of the best GNASH players I ever covered. Top 3. But Gavin's proven to be pretty good in his own right. Draw one by Ravenwood. Owen Gilroy sends it into the Mount Juliet zone. Puck's behind the net. The puck leaks out. And Luke Powell gets the secondary. They better give Luke Powell the secondary assist. He's the only reason that goal happened. He kept that clearing attempt in the zone of the blue line. Puck is out at center. Dump back into the Ravenwood zone. Owen Appel passing up the near side. It's out at center. Owen Gilroy watches it go into the Mount Juliet zone down the left wing. Easton Krensky picks it up. Krensky drops it back behind the net for Carson Slocum, who went off his stick, came out in front. Slocum able to reel it in, and he's going to ice it. 11:25 to go in the second. 1-0 Ravenwood now. USN now leading Centennial 3-1 with 7 minutes left in regulation in the Hein Cup final. Again, if USN win, they're playing Monday at 6:30 here in Bellevue. Draw to the right of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Gavin Hussey trying to put the puck out in front. Here's Liam Powell with a chance. Shot. Stopped by Simonik. Comes back to Powell. Put in front. Oh, Hussey. He actually went across to the back door and hopped over Hussey's stick. Very nearly 2-0 Ravenwood. And now at the blue line, a giveaway. Here's Kyle Alsager, all unable to receive a pass from Jordan Antar. Here's Gavin Hussey. Zach Egli now watches the puck go into the Mount Juliet zone. It's cleared out. Braylon Cox poking it ahead, but right to Luke Powell. Powell ahead to Hussey, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Hussey drops it back. Liam Powell tried to go down low. Hussey, it went past him to the inboards. Hussey now. Liam Powell, right circle, a shot. Did that hit Simonik or not? I'm not sure. Here's Luke Powell. Passing down the left wing. Intercepted Braylon Cox ahead to Tyler Dubois. And Dubois is going to ice it. 10:22 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to Simonik's right. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky, far side of his own zone. Sends it around to the near side. Cullen McDermott. Ahead to Wes Ray. Up, hopped off his stick at center. Gavin Hussey with it now. Hussey with the only goal of the game so far. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end. Cleared to center, but Luke Schenkel has it. He'll bring it back into the Mount Juliet zone. Slap shot from the right wing off the stick of Bobby Campos into the netting above the glass. Draw to the left of Simonik. Now Juliet trying to get it out. Held in left point. Zeke Landkammer fires it down the wall. To the left wing corner, Jake Lipinski comes out in front, puts it in front, off the stick of Colin Landkammer, trying to steer it in. Oh, then ended up behind Simonik in the crease. They needed to cover it. Actually went over to the far side. Simonik was laying down on his left side. Had to glove a shot. Keep his team down 1-0 with 9:43 left in the second. Draws to Simonik's left. Won by Ravenwood. Luke Powell out high. Taking a shot. Blocked away by Simonik. Here's Owen Gilroy. Shot blocked by the skates of Braylon Cox. He gets it back. Tried to send it to the front of the net. But Jack Reddy was tied up with Krinsky. Clearing attempt held in at the right point by Appel. Here's Gilroy. Had the puck poked away. Shot from the right, top of the right circle. Gloved and held on to by Simonik. That shot coming from Jake Farrell. Draw one by Mount Juliet. Here's Tyler Dubois behind his own net, sending it around to the near side. Kyle Allsaker clears. Owen Appel off to Luke Powell. But he gives it away to Braylon Cox inside the Ravenwood zone. Here's Kyle Allsaker with a slider shot. Stopped. Rebound put in front by Antar, and it's knocked away. Puck still in the zone. Now Cox puts it out in front, intercepted, and cleared out by Luke Powell. Actually, it's Owen Gilroy, excuse me. But boy, bad giveaway there for Ravenwood. Mount Juliet could have made it 1-1. Puck's back in the Ravenwood zone. Luke Powell, standing behind his own net, leaves the puck for Owen Appel. Appel ices it. 8:32 left in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the left of Farrell. Won by Ravenwood. Kevin Hussey carries it to center. Passes to his right. Zach Egli, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot turned away by Simonik. Oh, and then Hussey runs into Simonik. Simonik kind of came out of position, and Hussey ran into him and knocked him down. Like blow the whistle for the net being dislodged. I don't think there will be a penalty. And Mike Driscoll telling one of the referees it shouldn't be a penalty. I don't think they're going to call it. Draw is going to be to the right of Simonik. And now the referee chatting with the Mount Juliet bench, Ray Balls in particular. Puck behind the net. Zach Egli brings it out to the right wing side. Send it back down the wall. Jake Lipinski now trying to put it out in front. Lipinski did put it out in front. Egli trying to get a stick on it. Hussey can't get a stick on it. Brought out by Easton Krinsky. Krinsky twisted up with Egli. They both fall over each other inside the Ravenwood zone. Puck out at center. Hussey right wing side of the Mount Juliet end. Here's Schenkel now putting the puck behind the net. Now Carson Slocum banks it off the inboards. It's out on the far side. Wes Ray trying to clear. Held into the right point. Jake Farrell passing down the right wing to Gavin Hussey, who sends it to the net where it's stopped and covered up by Simonik. .7:32 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the left of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. It ends up behind the net. Ryan Woods with it. Trying to pass across to Braylon Cox. Puck out at center. Here's Owen Appel. Drops it back towards the Mount Juliet blue line. Intercepted by Tyler Dubois. Dumped back into the Ravenwood zone by Jordan Antar. Here's Owen Appel. Sending the puck to the near side. It's cleared out. Now Kyle Alsaker, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Round the back of the net. And lost the puck. Now the puck back in the Ravenwood zone. Jordan Antar. Puck passed out to the slot. Antar, a shot. Oh! Just missed the net. Now the puck back in the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Here's Reddy being pushed into the boards. Comes around to the left wing. Passes up top to the left point. Appel taking a shot. Stopped and held on to by Simonik. 6:24 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the right of Simonik. Liam Powell carries the puck to the front of the net and has a shot that goes off the left leg pad of Simonik. Oh, and there was a hit on the far side. That's drawn a penalty against Egli. A hit on Jordan Antar. Not sure what the penalty was, but it's going to give Mount Juliet their second power play of the game. They're down 1-0 with 6:16 to go in the second. Draw going to be to Ryan Farrell's right. Mount Juliet only has 5 shots on goal in this. Mount Juliet win the draw. They only have 5 shots on goal so far in this game. Braylon Cox puts it out in front. Antar with the backhander, steered away by Farrell with a stick. Here's Kristen Kransky moving along the blue line. Now into the high slot. A shot hit the skates of, I think, Ryan Woods. Yeah, and then it was cleared down ice by Hussey. Easton Krensky emerging from behind his own net. Passes to his right and Cox. Cox at center. Into the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Around the back of the net. Comes around to the left wing. Drops it up top. Krensky one-timer hit a stick and went past the net. Antar at the inboards. Trying to put it out in front. Cox. Passing to the left circle. Shot from Alsaker. Stopped. Off the left leg pad of Farrell. Krensky leaving it for Cox. Cox moving down the right wing. Passes down low. Antar behind the net. Now Cox trying to put it out in front. It hit the skates of Sutton Kornblum, and then Cox tried to center it for Woods in front and ended up on the far boards. Woods below the goal line. Put it in front of Antar. Sent it past the net to the left of Farrell. Under a minute left in the power play for Mount Juliet. As the puck ends up going out to center on the far side. Liam Powell almost stole it away from Easton Krensky. He would have been off to the races, but he couldn't hang on to it. Krensky back in the Ravenwood zone, and the puck poked away. Ryan Woods keeps it in, takes a shot, and misses the net to the right of Farrell. 25 seconds left in the man advantage for Mount Juliet. Luke Schenkel going to clear the puck down ice. Owen Gilroy beaten to it by Krensky. Krensky ahead to Woods. Woods then trying to pass across at the skates of Jack Reddy. Woods gathers it back in, passes to the far side. Alsaker had it knocked away as soon as he crossed the Ravenwood blue line. Krensky fires it back in from the red line. Penalty time against Ravenwood is up. They're back at even strength. Kornblum banks it off the near board. Zach Egli out of the box, up offside. .408 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Well, I guess they're calling intentional offside against Ravenwood because they're dropping the puck to the left of Farrell. It's won by Ravenwood. Luke Powell into the Mount Juliet zone in the left wing. Takes a bump. Still trying to get to the front of the net. Front puck was poked away by Robbie Simonek. Actually jabbed away. Actually, no, he more like pushed it away with the front of his blocker. Here's Powell, Luke Powell bringing it back into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing. Got double teamed and taken off the puck. Puck out at center, picked back up and dumped back into the Mount Juliet zone by Jake Farrell. It's Carson Slocum being pushed away from the puck. Dubois clears it out. Luke Schenkel tried to keep it alive, could not. Kornblum sending it back the other way, but right to Dubois, who dumps it back into the Ravenwood zone. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end, and Carson Slocum's going to end up icing it. 3:10 to go in the second. Still 1-0 Ravenwood. Draws to the right of Simonek. Here's Kyle Alsaker into the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Puts the puck in front. And they score! Antar! It ended up in the back of the net! We're thinking it went in off of Ryan Farrell. That'd be Alsaker's goal if it did. It's 1-1 with 2:57 to go in the second. Yep, it's Alsaker. Zach Egli bringing it up the left wing. Round the back of the net. Tried to put it in front. It was knocked away by Mount Juliet's stick. Now here's Luke Powell, right point. His shot hit some skates, went into the left wing corner. Slocum ahead for Alsaker at center. And Ravenwood ended up icing the puck from their own zone. Appel was trying to pass it up the near boards to Hussey. It ends up going for an icing. 2:18 to go in the second. Game tied at 1. Draw to the left of Farrell. Mount Juliet's goal came on just their 7th shot of the game. Oh, puck out at center. 3-on-1 for Ravenwood. Hussey right wing side of Mount Juliet's on a shot stopped. And the rebound covered up by Simonek. He was not going to let Jake Farrell get there. Draw is going to be to the left of Simonek. Won by Mount Juliet, but held into the blue line. Luke Schenkel, slap shot turned away by Simonek. Mount Juliet with a puck trying to get it out. It's out at center. Parker Triplett. Now Wes Ray in the Ravenwood zone. Oh, puck taken off from behind him by Luke Schenkel and cleared. Clearing attempt knocked down inside the Mount Juliet zone. Jake Farrell put in front. Oh, Gilroy. Oh, poked away by Robbie Simonek right when he got to the front of the net. Up to the blue line. Zeke Landcamer, a one-timer over the net. Now the puck out at center. Sutton Kornblum gets to it inside the Ravenwood zone. Passes up the far side. Gilroy deflects it into the Mount Juliet zone. Slapped out and down ice for an icing by Carson Slocum. 77 seconds to go in the second. Game tied at 1. Draws to the left of Simonik. Zach Egli, right wing corner, puts it behind the net for Luke Powell. Back in front, Egli, a shot stopped and covered up by Simonik. Egli has scored 5 goals in this postseason. He scored a goal in every game. In fact, he's on a 4-game goal-scoring streak. He scored in the regular season finale against Rutherford on January 26th. Draw going to be to the right or left of Simonik again. It's won by Ravenwood. Egli sends it around to the near side. Going to be carried out by Alsaker. Tried to pass ahead to Antart. Missed him. Goes back into the Ravenwood zone. No icing. Final minute of the second. Oh, put up for Alsaker. Shot stopped by Farrell, who was looking away from the rebound. Farrell comes up big again. Liam Powell drops it back. Gavin Hussey, right circle of the Mount Juliet zone. He gets hit. Here's Easton Kretzky through center. Right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Oh, he left the puck behind him when he went to go shoot. Puck back in the Mount Juliet end. Carson Slocum ahead to Kretzky. Kretzky ahead to Antar, who deflects it back into the Ravenwood zone. 20 seconds left of the second. Here's Gavin Hussey into the Mount Juliet into the left wing side. Pass to the slot. Powell with a backhander. Liam Powell with a backhander. Kicked away by Simonik with a right leg pad. Puck on the far boards. Sent back towards the front of the net by Cornwell. It's out in front of shot. Oh, missed the net to the right. Or left, of Simonik. That was Hussey shooting. And time is going to run out on the second period. Each side scoring. Well, Gavin Hussey scoring the first goal of the game to give Ravenwood the lead, and then late in the second with just over 2 minutes left, Kyle Alsaker banking one in off Ryan Farrell from behind the net. And so we go to the intermission and the ice cut in the Predators Cup final with Ravenwood and Mount Juliet tied at 1 at the end of 2. Wow, USNBA Nashville Christian beat Centennial 3-1, so there will be a Hein Cup if necessary game on Monday night, 6:30 here in Bellevue. So a big win for Ethan Barrow and USNBA Nashville Christian, the 4 seed, and they will be the home team on Monday night. So a big win for Ethan Barrow and the Tigers. Connor McKenzie and the Cougars got to do it all again on Monday. Well, like I mentioned, during the little break between the first and second period, the All-Star rosters, the initial All-Star rosters, came out yesterday. Shots on goal favoring Ravenwood 21-8, by the way. Oh, I better send out the current score on the text system. Hold on, folks. Let me send out this score here. All right, now let's talk about the All-Star game. Again, it's next Wednesday here in Bellevue on the Chris Brink, 8 o'clock. And like I said, yesterday they announced that GNASH, the Preds mascot, will be here taking pictures for about 45 minutes. Be taking pictures from about 7:15 to just past face-off at 8 o'clock. So once again, it is the Knights versus the Flyers. The Knights will be the home team this year. The Flyers will be the away team. So the starters for the Knights, starting goalie is Ryan Farrell. He's been voted in as the starter. Starting forwards, Stevie Lippa from Brentwood, Liam Powell from Ravenwood, Matt Yurjevich from Franklin BGA. And the starting defensemen are both Ravenwood players, Luke Powell and Luke Schenkel. Rounding out the Knights roster so far, Gavin Akers from Franklin BGA, Kyle Barberite and Tom Kamsu from Brentwood, Isaac Rice from Pro Prep CPA GCA, Nick Venable from USNBA Nashville Christian making up the rest of the defensemen. The rest of the forwards, Ryan Barrett from USNBA Nashville Christian, Tegan Bartz from Station Camp Liberty Creek, Zach Egli and Owen Gilroy from Ravenwood, Caleb Kane from the Tennessee Outlaws, Jacob Shank from the Tennessee Outlaws, Larson Smith from Brentwood, and Connor Smith from Hendersonville Beach. And rounding out the goaltenders for the Knights, Braden Cyphers from the Tennessee Outlaws and Jordan Palmieri from USNBA Nashville Christian. The Flyers starters for the moment, Robbie Simonic voted in as the Flyers starter. And the starting forwards so far, Ben Sonkin from Nolensville Ensworth Lipscomb, Lee Guy from MBA, Braylon Cox from Mount Juliet. Starting defensemen, Cooper Green from MBA, Camden Romo from Independence, and rounding out the Flyers defensemen, Mason Breedlove from Summit Page, Ethan Fredericks from the Rutherford Rampage, Easton Krensky from Mount Juliet, Jacob Littleton from Rutherford, and Alton Worth from Father Ryan. Rounding out the forwards, Kyle Allsaker and Jordan Antar from Mount Juliet, Justin Dickinson from Rutherford, Zach Ellis from Summit Page, Seth Hagan from Nolensville, Cam Hawkins from Rutherford, who, I'm being reminded, Braden Cyphers is going for his second straight Most Valuable Goalie Award. The Anthony Alvarez Most Valuable Goalie Award, I should note. Cam Hawkins from the Rutherford Rampage, who just announced today that he's going to go play at MTSU. Austin Hester from Father Ryan, JT Schmidt from Father Ryan, and then rounding out the goaltenders, Andrew Stratton from Centennial and Hunter Wick from NBA. So those are the players that have been voted in. They have until Friday to confirm.
What is that? That's got to be multiple schools, isn't it? To beat USA, that's multiple schools.
It's USN, BA, Nashville Christian.
Oh, shit.
Clean contest. No shenanigans happen like last year. So the players have until Friday to say that they're playing. I anticipate there will be some changes. And I'm sure that there will be a commissioner's choice. Last year, Dan McDonald, the commissioner, picked Katie Cummings from Father Ryan to be the commissioner's choice. So the Zamboni almost done. In fact, it's got a big strip at center. And then that's it. We'll have the All-Star game for you, of course. 7:55 pregame for an 8 o'clock face-off. And then that'll be it for the season. It started 5 months ago this Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday. There we go. They're playing Fleetwood Mac's Go Your Own Way over the PA system. That is my favorite album of all time, Rumors. Fleetwood Mac's Rumors, their signature album. Yeah, I know. I was born 7 years after it came out, but it's a great album, man. It's a great album full of great songs. So Ravenwood clearly outplaying Mount Juliet, but Robbie Simonek are keeping Mount Juliet in the game. Of course, it helps that Mount Juliet's top line got a goal to keep this, or to have us tied going into the intermission, as the Zamboni has, looks like, one strip to go over at center. And then we'll be ready to resume this one. I was planning on breaking during this intermission, but I guess I'm just going to stay here and keep talking. So, wonder what the coaches are talking about downstairs in the locker room. If you're Ray Balls, you got to be telling Robbie Simonek, hey, man, keep it up, keep it up. You're the reason we're still in this. And if you're Mike Driscoll, you got to be saying, can't keep shooting at his chest, can't keep shooting at his glove, and also you got to watch that top line. We got to keep a better eye on that top line for Mount Juliet, because they have had a couple of high danger chances that Ryan Farrell has had to stop. So Ravenwood could be behind in this game. Mount Juliet won 7 games in the regular season. They finished 5th in the GNASH Cup race. Ravenwood won 10 of their 14 to win the GNASH Cup. They have not done the GNASH Cup Predators Cup double since 2012. 2012 was the last time they won the GNASH Cup. Since then, they have won 5 Predators Cups. Their first Preds Cup was in 2010. Second in 2012, then they repeated in 2013. Went without for a couple of years, then won back-to-back in 2016 and 17, and they won the most recent one last year, trying to win another one this year. Zamboni is off the ice, but I wonder if the snow has been cleared off yet. Now Juliet coming back on the ice. If you notice, all the grandfathered FRA and BCA kids are seniors. So they're all graduating after this year. So both teams are back out on the ice. So 6:30 on Monday will be the Hein Cup, if necessary. 6:20 pregame for a 6:30 face-off. Nobody's in the box, so both teams start this third period at even strength. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood. Robbie Simonik still in goal for Mount Juliet-Green Hill-Lebanon for this third period. Ravenwood will move the puck from my left to right, Mount Juliet from my right to left as Mount Juliet win the draw to start the third. Kyle Alsager, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone, trying to pass across to Jordan Antar. It misses Antar's stick. Puck out at center. Carson Slocum dropping it back to Krensky. Back to Slocum on the far side. Slocum tried to stretch pass to Jordan Antar that missed him at the Ravenwood blue line. Icing was waved off. Puck in the right wing corner. Coming up the far boards, Liam Powell picks it up. Skates to center. Into the Mount Juliet zone right wing side. Powell sends it past the net to the left of Simonik. Puck out on the far boards. Here is Powell again, carrying out to the blue line, who just held it top of the blue line, got up a shot. Long range shot that's gloved and held on to by Simonik. Took 50 seconds off the clock. 13-10 left in regulation. Game is tied at 1. If we are still tied at the end of regulation, we will go to a 14-minute, this is a championship game, a 14-minute 5-on-5 sudden death overtime. Still tied at the end of that, then it is off to a best-of-5 shootout. Draw to the left of Simonik. One by Ravenwood. One-timer from Luke Schenkel. Missed the net to the right of Simonik. Puck poked out to center. Here is Sutton Kornblum. Passing to the near side, and tried to get it to Jack Reddy. It went off. Braylon Cox came back into the Ravenwood zone. Cleared out again by the Raptors. Kornblum, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, a shot. Shouldered away by Simonik, although that may have gone off the outside of the net. Oh, and then the puck came in front, went off of Jake Farrell and past the net. Farrell passing up the high slot off the stick of Cox. Oh, and then Jordan Antar got tripped. He got tripped. He got tripped by Kornblum. So Mount Juliet back to the power play. Game tied at 1, 12:39 to go in regulation. Draw is going to be to the left of Ryan Farrell. Draw is won by Mount Juliet. Kyle Alsager, top of the left circle, a shot blocked by the shins of Owen Appel. Puck on the near boards. Alsager trying to dig it out. Takes another shot. Stopped by Farrell. He's got it covered. Draw to the right of Farrell. One by Mount Juliet. Ryan Woods a shot into the chest of Farrell. Hangs on to it with a glove. Draw to Farrell's right again. One by Mount Juliet. Shot from Alsager blocked. Owen Appel couldn't clear. Alsager gets it back. Bottom left circle. Put in front, but Luke Powell knocks it away with his stick. Zach Egli calling for the puck at center. It's cleared out, but hit Braylon Cox. Cox brings it back into the right wing side. Tried to pass to Ryan Woods. Stolen by Liam Powell. Powell back into the Mount Juliet zone. Could not get around Easton Krensky in the slot. Krensky pucked the poke away on the back check. Stretch pass to Antar. Now Alsager left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Alsager shot steered into the netting above the glass by Farrell with a stick. 59 seconds left of the power play. 11:38 to go in regulation. The game is tied at 1. Draws to the left of Farrell. One by Ravenwood. Jack Reddy will chip it up ice. Easton Krensky's going to get to it. Krensky out to center. Avoided a poke check from Owen Gilroy. Krensky into the Ravenwood zone, and the high slide is shot blocked. Cox puts it in. Trying to put it in front for Woods. It went off the left leg pad of Farrell. Here's Jake Farrell on the far side. Jake Farrell carries to center. Sends it into the Mount Juliet zone. Went off the stick of Woods. And a shot from Gilroy. Turned away by Simonik. Gilroy got in behind Woods when the puck went off his stick. Simonek turned it away. Here's Allsecka, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Trying to put it in front for Braylon Cox. Couldn't get the shot away. Puck cleared out by Reddy. It's back in the Mount Juliet zone. Penalty time against Ravenwood is up there back at even strength. Cox lets the puck go out to center. Off the bench is Anthony Giampaolo. Had the puck knocked away from him. Tyler Dubois steers it back into the Ravenwood zone with help from Giampaolo. Giampaolo can't get around Owen Appel. Puck on the far boards behind the net. Now here is Luke Powell through center. Right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Shot hit the shins of Slocum. The back checking, is it Slocum or is it Parker Triplin? I'm not sure who it is. It's a yellow helmet. It's Slocum, and it went into the netting above the glass. 10:16 left in regulation. Game still tied at 1. Draw to the left of Simonek. Ravenwood won it, carried it down. Taken away by Mount Juliet. Anthony Giampaolo, far side at center. Dumps the puck into the Ravenwood zone. Owen Appel will track it down. Appel banks it off the near boards and through center back into the Mount Juliet end. Icing against the Raptors. Draw to the right of Farrell. Ravenwood with it. Liam Powell passing it up the near boards to the Mount Juliet zone. Jake Farrell chasing after it. He gets to it at the end boards, goes around the back of the net. Backhands it up to the left point, Luke Schenkel. Schenkel, slap shot into traffic. Oh, it's stopped! Was stopped by Simonek. He couldn't find the rebound for a moment. He has it covered. Gavin Hussey jumped in and forced him to make another save. 9:28 to go in regulation. Game still tied at 1. Draws to the right of Simonek. Won by Ravenwood. Shot went off a stick and over the net. Still in play, though. Puck out at center, trickling back into the Ravenwood zone. Luke Powell gets to it. Passes up the near boards. Here's Slocum. Across to Easton Krensky. Krensky stretched past Antar. Off his stick into the Ravenwood zone. Appel gets in front of Appel gets in front of Antar. And Jake Farrell's going to end up icing the puck. No, they wave it off. They wave it off. Slocum. Over to the far side, Krensky. Across to Cox. Back across Krensky. Krensky, nice spin move to get away from Egli. Krensky, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Try to get it to Cox. He sent it to the front of the net. Luke Powell intercepts and clears. Dubois at center. Banks it off the near boards. Carried back in to the Mount Juliet zone. And Gilroy. Good off a shot that's turned away by Simonek. Puck held in at the left point. Owen Appel shot. Hit Dubois in the slot. Egli trying to keep it alive. It comes back to Allsecka, who clears. And he ices it. 8:14 left in regulation. Still 1-1. Draws to the right of Simonek. Won by Ravenwood. Luke Schenkel, left point, passes it down the wall. Gavin Hussey goes to the left wing corner. Keeps moving on the inboards, puts it out in front. And unable to get a stick on it was Lucas Brady. Puck out at center. Ravenwood get it back. It's back in the Mount Juliet zone, cleared out by Dubois. Here's Luke Schenkel. Inside his own zone trying to clear it. Went off Ryan Woods. He gets another whack, tries to clear it. Hit Liam Powell, but now here's Schenkel carrying it into the Mount Juliet zone on the left wing side. Drops it back to Liam Powell above the high slot. His shot hit a skate. Came over to the right wing side. Sutton Kornblum now behind the net. Puck comes over to the near boards. Liam Powell now right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Shot hit the skates of Easton Krensky and went past the net. Ravenwood changing the line. Luke Powell from his own zone tried to pass ahead to Jake Farrell that was broken up by the stick of Antar. Here's Carson Slocum. Slocum ahead to Alsaker, who deflects it into the Ravenwood zone. Alsaker with the only Mount Juliet goal of the game so far. Managed to bank it off Ryan Farrell. Banking in off Ryan Farrell from behind the net. Now here's Jake Farrell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot, missed the net to the left of Simonik. Puck out at center. Now Alsaker left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. To the front of the net, a shot stopped by Farrell. Puck ends up back in the Mount Juliet zone. It's cleared out. Here's Antar now. Oh, Cox has got to get back on side. Cox tried to drop it back to Krensky. It's back in the Mount Juliet end. Krensky clears on the near side. And Raven would end up bringing it back into the zone offside. Jake Farrell was in the zone when it was carried back in. 5:56 to go in regulation. The game is still tied at 1. Draws to the right of Farrell. One by Ravenwood. They get it down ice. Cohen Landcamer, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot stopped and held onto by Simonik. Landcamer, another Ravenwood senior, hoping that tonight he goes out a winner. Draw was to the left of Simonik. One by Ravenwood, and then Sutton Kornblum tried to pass it down the wall. Clearing attempt, I thought was held in. I guess it just went over the blue line. Parker Triplett dumps the puck back into the Ravenwood zone. Poked over to the near side. Now Kornblum passing up the far side and out. Ryan Woods with it at center. Passing to the near side, Dubois. Puck back in the Ravenwood end. It's in the right wing corner. Sutton Kornblum up. Overskated it. Here's Gavin Hussey. Trying to clear it out. Ryan Woods keeps it in. Woods had it poked away. And it's brought out to center by Hussey. And a shot from the right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Steered away by Simonik. That shot coming from Cohen Landcamer. Now Wes Ray with 3 guys in front of him. Carries the puck back into the Ravenwood zone. Gets pushed into the near boards by Luke Powell. Here's Powell. Oh, as Tyler Dubois fell over at center, Powell gets past him. Right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. A shot stopped by Simonik. Rebound cleared away from the net by Easton Krensky. Here's Alsaker. Flipping it past Appel. Catching it back up to it. Right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Got pushed off the puck by Liam Powell. The puck cleared. Now the puck back in the Ravenwood end, but Mount Juliet to get back on side. Here's Liam Powell. Passing up the near side, intercepted Braylon Cox. Carries it back into his own zone, passes to the near side, Krensky at center. Krensky fires it across to the far side. It is back in the Ravenwood zone behind the net. Held in at the left point, Easton Krensky. His shot, took a bounce right when it got to the front of the net and bounced by. Here's Luke Powell, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone, banking the puck off the boards, came out to the near side of the net, where it's covered up by Robbie Simonik. 3:45 left in regulation, still 1-1. Draw is going to be to Simonic's left. Shots on goal favoring Ravenwood 30-14. Robbie Simonic has been tremendous. If Mount Juliet win this game, he is player of the game by far. Draw is going to be to Simonic's left. Won by Ravenwood and a shot gloved and held onto by Simonic. Draw will be to his left again. Won by Ravenwood and a shot from the center point, and Schenkel had to be turned away. Puck carried out by the Bears. Here's a shot from Parker Triplett, gloved and held onto by Farrell. Parker Triplett suddenly found himself open on the left wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Draw is going to be to the right of Farrell. Ravenwood get the puck out. Jack ready. Now Jake Farrell, right wing side. Shot gloved and held onto by Robbie Simonic. Draws to the left of Simonic. Puck's it towards the front of the net. Oh, and it just went off. It's sticking by. Jake Farrell trying to put it out in front. Stopped and smothered by Simonic. 2:58 to go in regulation. The game is tied at 1. Puck still in the zone off the draw. Puck behind the net. Owen Gilroy tried to backhand it out in front. It was deflected and cleared out by Ryan Woods. Now here's Kyle Allsaker back in the Ravenwood zone. Puck poked away. Jordan Antar had poked away. Back to Allsaker. Now Antar. Now Tyler Dubois, left wing side. His shot and missed the net to the right of Farrell. Puck cleared down ice by Gavin Hussey, but icing. Minute 51 left in regulation. The game is tied at 1. Draw is going to be to the left of Farrell. Ryan Farrell, I should say. It's won by Mount Juliet. Shot just missed the net to the left of Farrell. That was Anthony Giampaolo shooting. Puck out at center. Now here's Liam Powell back in the Mount Juliet zone around the back of the net. Tried to come out to the left wing and he lost the puck to Carson Slocum. Puck sent around to the near side. Cleared out. Now Giampaolo up. Couldn't get to it. Now he has it right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. A shot steered away by Farrell. Puck out on the near boards. Here's Liam Powell. Powell passing up the near boards. Hussey. Now Luke Schenkel. Right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. He's moving to the left. Sends it towards the front of the net. Past the left-hand side of the net. Last minute of regulation. And a shot from Hussey at an on angle, gloved and held onto by Simonic. 58.4 seconds left in regulation. The game is still tied at 1. Draws to Simonek's left. One by Mount Juliet. Easton Krensky banks it off the near boards. Allsaker backhands it out to center. Caught up two by Braylon Cox. He'll send it into the Ravenwood zone. Puck sent around to the near side. Luke Powell carries it out. Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Trying to put it in front for Gilroy. Easton Krensky comes up with it. Carries to center. 30 seconds left in regulation. Krensky, right wing side of the Ravenwood zone. Drop it in front for Antar. It's intercepted and cleared by Gilroy. Cox at center on the far side. Gets knocked down by Farrell. Puck back in the Mount Juliet zone. Poked down the wall by Jack Reddy. Easton Krensky with it, standing behind his own net. He'll pass to the near side. So he goes off the boards into the Ravenwood zone. And the Predators Cup final is going to overtime. Tied at 1. Unbelievable. First Preds Cup final to go to overtime since 2017 when Ravenwood beat NBA. If Ravenwood win, the Predators Cup is theirs. If Mount Juliet win, then we play on Monday. It'll be 14 minutes, 5-on-5. If we're still tied at the end of that, we go to a shootout. Ryan Farrell still in goal for Ravenwood. Robbie Simonek still in goal for Mount Juliet. For this overtime, Mount Juliet will carry the puck from my left to right, Ravenwood from my right to left. We're a goal away from Ravenwood winning the Predators Cup or Mount Juliet forcing Monday's if necessary game. Ravenwood win the draw to start the OT. Gavin Hussey. Now Zach Egli, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Puck got away from him, came to the front of the net. Robbie Simonek covers. Took 10 seconds off the clock. Draw is to the right of Simonek. Won by Mount Juliet, carried to center by Kyle Allsaker. He's in the Ravenwood zone on the right wing side. Puck taken away and cleared. Carson Slocum. Now Easton Krensky inside the Mount Juliet zone, passing a cross-ice diagonal forward pass to Jordan Antar, who tips it into the Ravenwood zone. Appel passing up the boards to Zach Egli. Leaves it for Appel, who exits the zone. Owen Appel, right wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Drops it back. Liam Powell. Behind the net. Got knocked down. Here's Easton Krensky. Ahead to Antar, who deflects it out. It's in the Ravenwood zone. Farrell's going to play it. Send it around to the near boards. Zach Egli at center on the far side. Ahead for Liam Powell. Nope, it went past his skates. He goes to the bench for a change. Krensky. And puck taken away by Ravenwood inside their own zone and iced. 12:44 to go in the overtime. The game is tied at 1. Draw is going to be to the right of Farrell. Oh, Anthony Giampaolo tripped a Ravenwood player behind the net. Jake Farrell at center, now in the Mount Juliet zone. Drops it back, Owen Gilroy with a shot off the right leg pad of Simonik. I think that should constitute touching the puck. Here's Jack Reddy's shot from the right wing, blocked and touched up. And here comes a big penalty kill for Mount Juliet. Anthony Giampaolo into the box for tripping. Ravenwood getting just their second power play of the game. 12:21 to go in overtime. The game is tied at 1. And now Ravenwood are going to use their timeout. Biggest power play of the season for Ravenwood. Biggest penalty kill of the season for Mount Juliet. Draws to Simonik's left. Timeout is done. Ravenwood win the draw. Luke Powell across to Liam at the left point. Liam Powell sending it to the front of the net. Trying to get a tip from Zach Egli. Egli passes it back to Liam Powell. Back to the center point, Luke Powell. Backhanded over to the right wing side, Luke Schenkel. Back up top, Luke Powell. Powell holding, shooting, stopped by Simonik. He's got it in the glove. Draw to the left of Simonik, won by Ravenwood. Luke Powell. Passing it down the right wing, Luke Schenkel. Across to Liam Powell, left circle, shot! Oh, wow! Glove saved by Simonik. Practically diving forward and snagging it. Draws to the right of Simonik. Won by Ravenwood. Liam Powell's shot turned away by Simonik. Luke Schenkel holds it into the right point. Sends it back to the front of the net. Shot stopped. Rebound stopped. Rebound. Oh, they wave it off. They wave it off. It looked like Ravenwood were about to win it. But there's a penalty, I think. No, yes, no, it's a violation against Ravenwood. A crease violation, I guess. They're going to drop the puck on the dot in front of the Ravenwood bench. 82 seconds left in the power play, 11:42 left in the overtime. The game is tied at 1. Easton Krensky caught Luke Schenkel right underneath him trying to get the puck away. Puck is along the kick plate. Schenkel falls over behind. Oh, he got tripped. He got tripped. Schenkel got tripped behind the net. And now it's a 5-on-3. It's a 5-on-3 for 62 seconds. It's against Krensky. Oh boy, Mount Juliet really got to hang on now. Draw to the right of Simonik. Ryan Woods trying to get it out, and he did clear. Owen Appel at center, sends it back into the Mount Juliet zone. There's under a minute left on the 5-on-3. Puck in the right wing corner. Allsicker whips it around the boards to the near side. Owen Appel can't hold it in. He's got it at center just behind the blue line. Passes to his right and Jake Farrell. Now, here's Jack Reddy. Down the slot, falls to one knee, gets off the shot. Stop by Simonik, rebound! Stop by Simonik! He robbed Jake Lipinski! Jake Farrell now across to Appel. Appel shot hit a stick and then the skate of Allsicker. Allsicker tried to clear. Appel holds it in. Puck cleared out by Mount Juliet. 10 seconds left of the 5-on-3. Here's Appel. Back into the Mount Juliet on the left wing. Drops it back. Owen Gilroy. Oh, and the puck taken away by Braylon Cox. Sends it back into the Ravenwood zone. The 5-on-3 is done. It's a 5-on-4 for Ravenwood. As Ravenwood end up icing the puck. .49 seconds left of the 5-on-4. 10-11 to go in the overtime. The game is tied at 1. Draws to the right of Ryan Farrell. Won by Ravenwood. Luke Schenkel. Now Luke Powell at center. Into the Mount Juliet zone on the right wing side. Stops, turns around. Tried to drop it over to left point. Nobody was there. Liam Powell has to get it at center. 30 seconds left of the 5-on-4. Puck on the far side at center. Here's Luke Powell. Ahead for Luke Schenkel. Now Liam Powell, left wing side of the Mount Juliet zone. Had the puck taken away and cleared by Ryan Woods. Here's Luke Powell. Powell back into the Mount Juliet zone, moving over to the left wing side. Sends it to the front of the net. A shot stopped, and then the rebound from Egli turned away. Egli on the far boards. Moves around a defender. Egli shot, score! Zach Egli scores the goal that wins Ravenwood their 7th Predators Cup. He fires it into the roof of the net from the bottom of the right circle. The senior goes out the hero in his last game. It's 7th heaven for the Ravenwood Raptors. The first ever 7-time Predators Cup winners! The goal comes with 9:11 left in the overtime. As Corbin Vickery, well, most of the Mount Juliet team have left the ice. Corbin Vickery, one of the backup goalies, sticking around to shake hands. Well, they needed extra time to do it, but they did it. It's Zach Egli with a game winner. Wow. Amazing. Zach Egli scored a goal in every game this postseason. And the last one is the biggest he'll ever score. It sends him out a champion. Zach Egli finishes his senior year on a 5-game goal streak. Scored in the last game of the regular season against Rutherford. Scored twice against Ryan, scored twice against NBA, and scored a goal in both games against Mount Juliet. And the one that wins it for Mount Juliet is the one that gives them the title. And now the post-game presentation. First up, the presentation of the Melnick MVP. Kevin Hagan making the presentation. Actually, in honor of Mitch Melnick, we had a third postseason tournament for 2 years. The Melnick MVP was first awarded in 2018. Wow, Robbie Simonik is the Mitchell Melnick MVP. 43 saves on 45 shots. Ryan Farrell comes out to greet him. Robbie Simonik in a losing effort. The first time that a member of the losing team has ever been given the Melnick MVP. And yes, if it weren't for him, this game would not have gone to overtime. He deserves it. And the Raptors have the Predators Cup in their hands, and they're raising it. And hey, sweet victory. We don't hear that song enough. You know, it was a song long before it was used in that SpongeBob episode. But yeah, I agree with Robbie Simonik getting the MVP. If it weren't for him, this game never goes to overtime. He practically bailed out. He kept Mount Juliet in the game. Wow. So the Raptors taking the team picture in front of the bleachers. The goals in the game. Kyle Allsaker scored Mount Juliet's only goal. Ravenwood's goal scored by Gavin Hussey and Zach Egli with the OT winner. I'm going to name 3 players of the game. I'm going to name 3. Both goaltenders, because Ryan Farrell had to stop a lot of high danger chances from Mount Juliet's top line. Robbie Sivanek, because he's the only reason it went to OT. And Zach Egli for having the game winner. And plus his tremendous postseason. Scoring a goal in every game. He deserves it. By the way, the if necessary game for double elimination tournaments was introduced by GNASH in 2015. This is just the second time the Predators Cup won't need it. The first year it was 2015. Brentwood beat NBA to win the Preds Cup. Now tonight in 2023, Ravenwood out of the winner's bracket beat Mount Juliet to win the Preds Cup. The 2 finals in 2016 and 2017 were one-game winner-take-all. Whoever won the game won the trophy. The double elimination format, well, it was brought back in 2018. It was that weird hybrid format where we stuck everybody in the Preds Cup, and then the losers in the first 2 rounds dropped into the Hein Cup. Once the Preds Cup went down to 4 teams, it transitioned to double elimination. And the if necessary game for the Preds Cup was played every year from 2018 to last year. Wow. Wow. What a night. What a game, what a night. But it's not over yet. Ravenwood are carrying the Hein Cup or the Predators Cup home, but someone still has to go with the Hein Cup. And it's going to be in the building on Monday night. USNBA Nashville Christian beat Centennial 3-1 tonight to force the if necessary game on Monday. Is Sandy put the box score up yet? Yes, she has. Hey, now the Preds Cup box score is already up too. Wow. USN scored all 3 of their goals in the first period. Benton Laird, Hoyt Sorensen, and Eddie Crane. And then Aiden Gardner scored Centennial's only goal in the third. Andrew Stratton made 21 saves on 24 shots. Jordan Palmieri made 18 on 19. So Monday, back here in Bellevue on the Chris Brink for the Hein Cup if necessary game. USNBA Nashville Christian against Centennial. We'll be on the air at 6:20 for a 6:30 face-off. And then next Wednesday, the 2023 GNASH All-Star Game. Pregame at 7:55, puck drop at 8 o'clock. Wow. Amazing. And that's it. Unbelievable. What a game. What a game. Ravenwood, the first ever 7-time Predators Cup winners, beating Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon in overtime 2-1. Zach Egli with a game winner. Oh, wait, I can't play the music. I got to stop the music. Hold on, because I gotta tell you who the seniors are. I always go over the graduating seniors for both teams. Okay, so Mount Juliet, Carter Chamberlain was on my roster, but he never played for Mount Juliet. He decided to play for the Spartans all year. Braylon Cox is a senior. That's a big loss on offense. Blake Bristow, that's a big loss on defense, but even without him, they still forced OT in the Preds Cup final. Easton Krensky, that's a big loss at forward. Of course, Easton was going to forego his senior year and stick with baseball because he's one of the best high school baseball outfielders in the whole state. He'll be in the All-Star game next week before he hits. Well, he's probably got to be on the diamond tomorrow because practice started a week ago Monday. Wes Ray, that's a big second-line loss. Robbie Simonek, that's a big loss in goal, but they got Corbin Vickery as a freshman. Meanwhile, to Ravenwood. Ravenwood saying goodbye to 9 players. Cohen Landcamer, Gavin Hussey, it's a big loss. Owen Gilroy, it's a big loss. Sutton Kornblum, big loss on D. They're saying goodbye to both their goaltenders, Ryan Farrell and Luke Howanek. Zach Egli, Luke Schenkel, and Luke Powell. Ravenwood are losing 9 players, and pretty much all of them are big losses. Wow. Okay, now I can play the music and get out of here. Oh, my goodness. How incredible. USN Centennial on Monday. You top that. Wow. High drama in the Predators Cup final as Ravenwood win 2-1 in overtime. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening. My voice is shot. Thank God we got 4 days until the next game day. No, 5. I can't count. It's Wednesday. Next game's on Monday. The Predators Cup final in the books. Ravenwood win 2-1 in overtime over Mount Juliet-Green, Hill-Lebanon. The first ever 7-time Predators Cup winners are the Ravenwood Raptors. I'm Michael Hackney. Thank you all so much for listening. And good night, everybody, from Bellevue.